Okay, we're going to go through the whole process of greasing up this the back driver's side rotor. So first of all, we have to take the tire off. Obviously, we've already done that. Now we have to take this cap off, and I'm going to just kind of use a screwdriver and a little hammer to wedge it off. Okay. Pull it off like that. Now we're going to have to take off the caliper, and then we need to take the cotter pin off of here, and but we'll start off with getting the cotter pin off. So we're going to take this screwdriver and kind of bend it, start it, and then we'll take some pliers and straighten them out like that. Then we'll take the cotter pin out, pull it straight on out like that. Now we're going to loosen up the calipers, although this is going to be hard because the calipers, there's not a lot of room with the swing arm there. So
okay, we'll put it on hold now until we get the calipers off.
Okay, so we use the ratchet for the bottom one. We got that loose. The top one can't get the ratchet in there, at least with the ones that I have, so we're just using a boxed end. It's a 15 millimeter. Loosened it up already, so we're going to just take this thing off. Take the bolts out.
Let me see the bolt on the bottom.
Right there. Pull the bolt out. The caliper will come off with the brake pads and everything. So then we can just set that off to the side, put the bolts in the cap over here. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we have to break the big nut. So we've got our big breaker bar right here. It's well, the one we're using is 1 3/16. I'm sure it's not the right one. It should be a metric one, but that's all we had. So, all right, so we'll put it on, and then we'll just use that to loosen it up. And we are tightening these things back up to 184 pounds torque, plus or minus, whatever. So now we can pull the nut off, set that aside, pull the rotor off, and then we'll set that aside. Get the cotter pin over there. All right, so now we have to put in the greasing tool.
Which is
This guy. I'm unsure of the manufacturer. Gary knows the manufacturer, but it's working really, really good. So we just put it on over the spline, push it all the way in, just like that. Then we get our grease gun.
I think you got to work it in a little bit more.
It's all the way in.
Okay.
It's all the way in. So this one here has got a locking thing for the Zerk fitting. So we'll pull it back, put it on, let go. Now it's locked. And all of the other rotors, we've had to squirt 20 squirts of this grease in. So we'll start now. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You can see a little bit of grease right here has started to come out. So that was 21. We're going to put 22 in. You can see it coming out a little bit more.
It's dark, so it's kind of hard to see.
It's hard, but once you see the grease coming out right in this area here, then you know you're good. So this one took 22 squirts, so this one was totally empty. And this side-by-side is a 2018 XRS, X3 XRS. and it's been out a total of 3 times. So this thing has obviously come from the factory totally empty.
How many hours?
I don't know, maybe 40 hours, 30, 40 hours, something like
Total
that.
drive time?
Total drive time.
And now you're just now
And
greasing?
we're greasing it. So I would recommend anybody that buys one of these things, that's one of the first things they do, because these come totally empty. So now we're going to pull the grease tool out. And then we're going to throw some grease right on here. The front ones seem to have some white grease on it. The back ones didn't seem to have any grease on it, so we've just put some grease, some of this grease here. Whether or not this is the proper grease to use, I don't know, but this is what we have. I think it should work. So we'll put that in there. Now we're going to take our rotor, line up the splines, kind of work it in. Okay, so now it's in there. And then we're going to put the washer back on, put the nut. Now these back ones, we did not have to push the brakes on. It was just fine without pushing the brakes on. So get that a little tight, then we'll use the torque wrench.
Before you put the caliper back on?
Yeah, we could do the caliper or do this one, but it's just as easy to do this right now. So this torque wrench only goes up to 150 pounds, so we have to do that and then just go a little bit further.
Get your finger.
There you go. So you hear that click? That was telling us it's at 150. So now, and where we can see here, the hole for the cotter pin is not lined up. So this will work really well. I can just tighten it a little bit more and line that up for the cotter pin. Okay, there we go. Now we can put the cotter pin back in. If I can get it. And I think it's, let's try and do it from the other side. Pause it for a minute. Okay, we finally got the cotter pin in. We just went from the top side, and now we're gonna twist it like that. Then we're gonna splay these ends back. Hope you like the music, because this is enjoyable for us.
Yeah. We're working in Northern California.
Let's see if I can bend this. There we go. All right, there we go. So then we're done with that. We can put the cap back on. Line up the holes, give it a little tap, and we go put back on. Now let's put the caliper back on. Okay, this goes behind. And then we're going to wedge the pads in between the rotor. All right. And I can put the bolt in. Tighten that guy up a little bit. Put that in. Get our handy dandy socket.
5/8.
This one is 15 millimeter.
15 millimeters.
Yeah. Tighten that guy up. And we're not going to be able to use that, so we have to use the open end.
Okay. Put on hold.
Okay, so we loosened, we tightened them all up. Now we just have to put some on it there, and then we'll get the bottom one. Make sure that that's nice and tight. And I still can't get it on there, so just have to play it by ear. So that's how you grease the rotors on the Can-Am X3.